So Reid, where the heck have you been? Where have you been? You've been gone for like 10 days.
Like it feels like almost exactly 10 days.
It feels like you're hiding from us.
So much life has happened without you here.
I didn't want to tell you guys, but I've been seeing another podcast.
You're gonna say it right here in front of everybody.
Just right live.
Oh my god, this is raw emotion right now, everybody. Okay, hold on, we're processing this.
Eventually, it's going to come out. I thought I might as well get out in front of it and tell you all.
Control the narrative. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, what's their name?
Argentina. What a podcast!
Country?
What a podcast! What?
You mean the country?
Yeah, the country.
Argentina?
Yeah, as opposed to what? What other Argentina? Do you know?
I don't know. A person?
A person?
Hi, my name's Argentina.
Listen,
That's
if your
pretty good.
name is Argentina, sound off in the comments and roast this man.
It's not that bad of a name, honestly.
No.
Like, if it weren't a country and you said, hey, my name's Argentina, I'd be like, all right, cool.
Some people's name are Chad.
And there's a country named Chad.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people
point.
named Kenya.
America Ferrera.
Oh, wait.
True.
That's
Yeah.
a great point.
I know it is.
Yeah.
So
Zimbabwe.
tell us a little bit about this Argentina. Tell us a little bit.
Yeah. It's not actually a podcast. I was in Argentina.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So
you're a liar.
You're a cheater.
Just a jokester, you know.
Wow, that's so funny.
All right, booger boy.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Argentina. How was that?
Yeah, it was great. I was there for approximately 8 days, and this is the second time I've been. So second year in a row, and we've been going on some mission trips over there, partnering with some IMB missionaries and some churches in Buenos Aires. So
Nice.
yeah. What do you want to know? What thoughts do you have? I have so much to share. I need to really
Yeah.
You need to
You
be hosed in.
are
Yeah.
there-
down here.
Can you share a funny moment? Share like a cool, like, wow, that was really cool moment. And then
Yeah.
do you have any like face palm, like embarrassing
Ooh, yeah.
things that happened?
Embarrass yourself for us.
Yeah,
would you mind.
Dance monkey.
Never embarrassed. So no, I'm just kidding.
I've never been
all the
embarrassed
time.
once.
No, so one really cool thing is in Argentina, they drink this tea called Maté tea, and it's like a very big cultural thing, and they drink it like not just in the morning, but in the evenings, and like it's like a social thing. Like you drink Maté tea together. And I think even before COVID, they used to share it. Like you would kind of just pass it around.
Like just they're passing a cup
Yeah,
in a group?
basically.
Ooh. No, thank you.
Right.
Is it like mate just reminds me of like matcha? Is it similar?
It's not similar.
Okay.
No.
What is it? So it's tea. So is it like it's herbal based, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
What's the plant? What plant are we looking at here?
Yerba, I think.
Yerba?
I
Okay.
think. I've heard lots of it's called yerba mate.
Okay.
So I actually never tried it.
The whole time you were there, you
Yeah.
never tried it?
Yeah, it was just like I don't know. No one ever offered it to me, so I never tried it. I told myself before I left for this trip, I was like, I'm gonna try mate this time. I just never did.
What?
It's crazy.
Wow.
He won't go to the party. He just wants to be invited to it.
Yeah.
Right. You can't
like,
show up to
dude.
somebody's party uninvited. You can't drink somebody's mate tea uninvited, you know?
Just like pick it
"Hey,
up."
thanks.
Hey, let me have a sip of this.
Golly.
So you don't know what it tastes like.
No.
Do you know what it smells like?
No. But I
got
see it
nothing?
everywhere.
He's like-
I saw it everywhere.
But
I
I
don't know
saw
what it sounds
it.
like.
Here's something really cool. People
Sounds
drink
like-
some tea in this place. That's all I know.
That's all I know.
No, but what I was gonna say is it's like it's so popular and so socially ingrained in the culture that people will like carry sling bags that have like a thermos of hot water and like their mate cup and their mate tea leaves
What the heck?
with them, and they'll like just like
What?
pull it out on the subway or whatever.
That's so
and
wild.
just,
So like,
Mate to go.
you think they're like a student? You got their little messenger bag, and then they just whip it out, and they're on the drain. Just
right. That's exactly what's happening.
what? That's wild.
That's commitment.
Which I thought, why can't I do that with coffee? Like, I love
Whip out
coffee.
your beans.
Yeah, just
We'd
carry.
roast you.
Like carry everything I need in a little sling bag.
Get it?
Good.
Thank you.
Anyway, carry everything I need for, my coffee to go in a little sling bag.
In a purse.
Yeah, in a purse. Which there are a lot of people, a lot of guys in Buenos Aires who carry like little side satchels, like messenger bags
with their tea.
Right. Well, with everything, they got their phone, money, whatever,
and their tea. Wow.
So Buenos Aires reminds me a lot of New York City.
Okay,
interesting.
It's a huge city. Yeah. So Buenos Aires has, I think, 17 million people.
Dang.
Right, and out of those 17 million, it's like I think they said 1% are evangelical Christians.
Oh, okay.
So
super low.
Right. It's pretty low
for a big city.
For a big city,
right.
yeah.
Well, in Latin America,
right? South America, yeah. Latin America.
Does it count? Yeah, it counts, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Cool. Sure.
But the thing is like, in my opinion, Argentina shares a lot of similarities with the U.S. Like, U.S. Had a revolution in 1776, right? And they gained their freedom from England.
Did? Just kidding. Keep going.
Wait, what? This is news to me.
Where have you guys been?
This is the tea he brings from Argentina.
Mate.
Yeah, so we had our revolution, and I think they had a revolution like the early 1800s, like 1810, 1820, something like that. I believe it was from England as well.
Of course.
But like,
aren't they all?
Yeah, I know, the British Empire and all that. But they, like, America has like all of these immigrants from Europe and from like all over basically. But Argentina does too. Like, Argentina is like packed with people from so many different countries that are not Argentina. So like Buenos Aires is like way more European than it is Latin American.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So what kind of things did y'all do on this mission? Like, what was your mission?
To share the gospel.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Amen.
But our primary goal is to partner with the church that's in Buenos Aires. Like, so we partnered with a specific church, like a specific community, and we meet with them and we help them with their outreach, with their, evangelism. We help them with like their church programs and stuff. Not that they, like, the church that we are partnered with is older than the church that I'm like a member of.
Wow.
It's like,
That's
I think
cool.
they celebrated 125 years.
Wow.
Like last year or something like that. So it's a very old church. But just with the culture being like a post-Christian culture, like very European, they struggle a lot with how do we talk to people about Christianity when everybody's kind of moved beyond like the need for faith, right? And so a lot of what we're doing is encouraging them and helping to get them mobilized and encourage their young people and talk about the gospel just with them and talk about, what's your testimony? How can you share that with people? How can you engage your classmates or your friends or your coworkers, whatever? And then, so that we're encouraged as well to go back and do the same thing in Houston. So yeah, we did a lot of hanging out, encouraging, talking, with the believers, and we did some like park evangelism. We did some training on like, how to live in a post-Christian world. We talked about apologetics and stuff. So yeah,
That's really cool.
It's a lot of fun. Really excited to keep going back.
Yeah. It's one of those partners you kind of like go back to, you have like relationships built up with that church that's there.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So what the IMB tries to do in Buenos Aires specifically, like the country team there, their goal is to get any U.S. churches to partner specifically with Argentine churches so that like the IMB is not funneling everything. They're just kind of like making the connections and then you're building each other up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Which is, I feel like that's the most effective way to do it, and how really it should be. You churches partner with churches to help support.
Right.
That's cool.
Well, and I
That's
was
really
having this conversation with my youth group this week about how I told them a story about how I went on a mission trip to Nepal as a junior in high school, and they were like, "Whoa, that's really cool." I have some juniors in the youth group, and so they were like kind of interested, and so they were like curious what that looks like. A lot of them haven't really grown up in a mission focused church that's like a thing. And so they don't really know what that looks like, And so for me as a kid at, where I grew up, like that was something people were doing all the time. We're going overseas and stuff. And so it was kind of interesting to talk about how the expectation is that if you're on a mission trip, like the point is just to evangelize and just to spread the gospel with people. And like, there's an element of that. And typically, right. And that's how it was for us in Nepal. I imagine that's how it was for you guys, a little bit of, street evangelism, just kind of talking to people as you come across them, tell them about Jesus. But then how there's kind of the, I don't want to call it like a new way, but it kind of feels like a new way in how you're more there to support the people who live there and to evangelize the culture that they already are a part of,
right?
Versus coming in as a foreigner into a different environment and going, oh, hey, because what I was explaining to the youth group was that like people receive that really differently in different, contexts. And so a lot of times it can kind of feel like you're spreading the gospel of America instead of the gospel of Jesus, which obviously is not what we want. And so, it's better for us to go overseas and partner with the churches that are actually on the ground there already and support them in whatever ways that looks like, right? Like doing park ministry or like, extra stuff or just, like you said, just kind of encouraging each other. Like, hey, this is something we're doing too,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We specifically got partnered with this church because they're going through like a revitalization process where they have probably like, there's a big age gap where there's like a lot of older members and they have actually quite a few young adults. But like they're like those young adults are kind of newer and they're like, trying to figure out how do we like grow the church and how do we like transition to like the next generation of leaders because the pastor's about to retire and that's what something our church has been going through and is going through. And so it's like, hey, what are you guys struggling with? Well, we're struggling with the same thing. Here's some solutions we found. Here's some things that we've tried and how it's gone for us. So it's been really cool. One thing about this church that we're partnering with is they have a ton of students, like most of them are like medical students from other countries coming to Argentina to study medicine.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the university is free for anybody. It's like
Heyo.
Right. So like if you
apply today.
Right. But it's like it's free to go to school in Argentina, and so people from Brazil and Peru and from Uruguay and from Chile and all these other places.
Is it hard to get into? Like get accepted?
I don't know that the acceptance is really hard, but the courses are actually really hard.
Interesting.
So like you have to have all of these like leveling courses to get you the right what are they called? Credentials, I guess. Like you have to study all these things and like take tests to just say like, hey, I know enough, I'm studied enough, I'm like I know what I'm doing to just get into the medical program. And then the medical program is extremely difficult. And so like that's kind of how they like weed out some of the people.
Yeah.
But right.
Listen, if it's gonna be for free,
It's
you're
free,
gonna
but it's
work
super
for
hard.
it.
Listen,
Yeah.
it's an open door, but you're gonna get beat up.
We're constantly trying to
You're
like,
gonna pay
kick
with
you
your
back
mental
through it, right?
Your mental health, gee whiz.
Yeah, but so like a lot of the young adults that we're working with are like that are part of the church are medical students, and so they're super intelligent. And they're doing like school, and they've been in school for a while, and it's tough. But like it's also amazing to me just how many of these students speak multiple languages. Like it's crazy. A ton of the people you talk to, especially the young people, they speak English, but their primary language is if they're from Argentina or Peru or something, it's Spanish. But then a ton of them also know Portuguese because they are from Brazil or from somewhere else that speaks Portuguese primarily.
I was just going to ask if I couldn't remember if it was Spanish in Argentina or Portuguese. Or,
It's Spanish primarily. But it's
but
like
I guess they're so close to all the,
right,
all these other countries too. So
yeah, we met one guy. His name's Fernando. He speaks English. Well, his first language is Spanish. He speaks English, Portuguese, Japanese. He speaks Argentine Sign Language.
Oh,
wow.
And I think he's learning a sixth language right now.
Dang, what a G.
I know. He does a ton of translating. He was telling me it's like really strange for him because he was translating for me to some people who spoke primarily Portuguese. And so he was translating from English, his second language, to Portuguese, his third language.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just so impressive to me when people are like past their like adolescent and they're able to pick up other languages and learn. I'm sure like immersion, the immersive experience of picking up other languages, like that obviously plays a big part with necessity of learning a different language, but it's so hard to learn like that as a new skill into your like young adulthood.
Right. I've been practicing Spanish like since before we went back to Argentina. I say back. Before we went to Argentina the first time, I had started like trying to learn Spanish so I could, be more useful and not just be like the American guy who only speaks
Hola.
Spanish.
Yeah.
And so I've been practicing for over a year.
Reid.
Right. My Duolingo streak is at like 480.
Maté.
480
Is it really?
days. Yeah.
Jeez. That's a good streak.
But it's tough to learn a new language, especially as I'm older and my brain is like decaying, right?
Yeah.
Golly.
As my body dissolves into
right
dust.
in front of you. But I did better with my Spanish this time. Like I could have conversations.
Nice, dude. That's cool.
There was one time where we were in a small group and we were like sharing testimonies and praying for one another. And one of the IMB missionaries said, "Hey, do you want me to translate for you?" And I'm like, let's see how it goes. I understood like I'd say 75% of what everybody was saying, which was pretty good.
That's not bad.
I hear it better than I speak it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, in like 2012 or 2013, I went to El Salvador. We were there with Living Water International. You
Right.
Cool.
pick a community you kind of connect to do the well digging and all this stuff. But one of the things they had us do was like lead a class on hygiene. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, all right, can you like lead this section? And I go, in English? I go, no, in Spanish. Oh, well, you see, I'm tan, but I don't know
I'm
Spanish.
just tan.
And like, that's it.
That's it.
So like the whole day before, I'm learning these like phrases, like basically they're like, okay, well, say it to the kids then. So like
Oh
I
my
taught it to
gosh.
the children.
Nice.
But it was like like, this is a fly. The fly lands on poop or a dead animal and then lands on your food. That's not good. Like
That's nasty.
bad.
that's how like I was basically
Oh my
teaching it in
gosh.
Spanish. It was such a humbling experience.
No
having to do
bueno.
that. No,
That's so funny, dude. Holy moly.
jeez, it was a good time.
Yeah. So Spanish is a big deal. Like learning a second language.
Yeah.
If you're not learning a second language, you should. You should already know one if you haven't.
Just shame all the listeners. If you don't know a second language, what are you doing? What are you doing?
There are
with
people
yourself?
out there who are learning their sixth language. Okay. So,
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm also in the Duolingo journey. I
Right.
think I'm at like 112 streak or something like that. So
Wow.
I'm feeling,
Spanish?
yeah, in Spanish.
nice.
So I'm feeling pretty good about
Can
it.
you spit some Spanish?
Nope. I'm
See,
not gonna
and
do
that's
it.
the thing. I did Duolingo for a long time, and it just didn't. I need like someone in my face, like, no,
To
learn
moderate
this,
you.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
and like making me like conversationally say it back and
I
forth.
mean, so in the app, it gives you sections where you're supposed to speak it, and it's supposed to like correct
Right, you like
or
say
whatever.
it as the phone. Uh-huh.
I always say, I can't speak right now.
There's
There
a
it
button, the
is.
cop out button. It's like,
sorry, I'm in
my
public
mic is
and
The
broken.
shame button.
Yeah. I usually do those. So I usually do those.
Yeah.
Unless it's
Okay.
like, what happens a lot is we'll be playing games and it's like almost midnight and I'll go, oh crap, I got to Duolingo. And so I pull it out and we're all on, Discord talking and I'm like, hold on. I'll mute and then I'll do
Right.
it. And then I'll turn off the mic and I won't do that.
You
part,
need
but-
to say it without muting your headset next time. Don't
Yeah,
tell
that would-
anybody what's
yeah,
happening.
The grass is green.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good because we got some Spanish speakers in there who would be like, "Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, that's way wrong." Duolingo gave you the right answer, but that was not the right answer.
I'm also taking like a 1 hour a week Spanish tutoring on
right.
via
That's
Zoom.
right.
Yeah, so that's helping quite a bit because the whole thing is in Spanish. Like, well, she speaks in Spanish like the whole time, and I'm like, what? But yeah, so I really appreciated the Argentina partnership because like I've been to mission trips in the past, like to Nepal and stuff, and just going to Spanish speaking countries where at least I have a little bit of communication ability has been really good. In a country where a lot of people speak English, and so there's a lot of overlap of communication, like we can actually talk. And then one of the main things that I really like is that we're not just like building something, because in the past, like I've been on mission trips where it's like, hey, we're going to go on a mission trip and we're going to build this, or we're going to dig the well, or we're going to do whatever, and you get back and you never actually shared the gospel with anybody, and you never really talked about spiritual things or about God or about what Jesus did on the cross. And so it's like, was that a mission trip? Like, I went and did a work project, but did I do anything missions?
Right.
And so, yeah, those things can help, and they can be like a platform for people to share the gospel. But I think these partnerships that we've got are just a much more explicit way to say, like, hey, we're going to go and we're going to actually be on mission, right? Mm-hmm. We're not just going to build something and say, come back and be like, yeah, we accomplished this physical thing. We're going to go back and we're going to say, like, hey, we furthered the gospel, we accomplished these spiritual things, and we equipped the church, the local church, to continue the process. So that's what I really liked about these trips and this partnership, is that it's not just about physical stuff, which I think we get way too bogged down in America on, like, hey, we got to do these physical things on mission trips. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, for sure. I appreciate that a lot of, that scenario, that trip that y'all have worked out. I feel like a lot more awareness has been put on mission trips in recent years towards that kind of attitude. Again, kind of going back to what I was saying before, of just like, we're not just some, nonprofit, which no shame to nonprofits doing work. Like that's awesome. But if we're going to say that we're a church and the purpose is for, that people would know who Jesus is, then you should put some, some work into that too. So I love that. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's the same. Like, there's work trips that have their place. Mm-hmm. You can bring the resources, you can bring the manpower, where certain communities or towns don't have that. But then there also needs to be the connection side as well, and the literally vocalizing, like, what the gospel is, who Jesus is.
Right.
And I think it's the same with the whole, like, small local church debate versus mega church. Like, they both have their place. They both serve a purpose. It's vastly different, but there's both. You can hold space for both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So what's your, like, one takeaway from your trip?
Yeah.
If you could just, boil the whole 8 days down into one word.
One word?
Single word.
Maté.
Dengue.
Dengue. What does that mean?
Excuse me?
Dengue is like a mosquito-borne illness.
Oh no!
And it was like very like the dengue rates were super high while we were there, and and the mosquitoes there were swarms of mosquitoes. Like, seriously, all week long we're just swatting ourselves.
Holy crap!
I don't have dengue. I would have already had symptoms if I did. So
pray for Reid, guys. Pray for
Reid. This is just
Gosh.
sore throat. It's not dengue.
Yeah.
There's no dengue fever.
Get down in the tea. Yep, definitely.
No, we swatted a lot of mosquitoes. I ate a ton of ice cream. Argentina is known for its ice cream.
It's a regular day.
It's a regular
just
trip.
Reid, yeah.
For me. Anywhere that I can find good ice cream, I'm looking for it. But Argentina has a lot of good ice cream. They have a lot of, like, Italian influence.
Wow.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, and so I guess their ice cream has taken a lot of influence from Italian ice cream. It's very good. And then we did, like, evangelism in the park and talking to people about Holy Week, because we were there over Easter.
Right.
And it was just really interesting. We talked to a lot of younger people in the park, and we were like, hey, what does Holy Week mean to you? Almost all the time, every answer was, it doesn't mean anything. It's just kind of a day off from work. So yeah, I guess just my main takeaway is that there's a lot of need for the gospel, there and here. So
yeah, that's true.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's really cool.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, letting us know where you've been. We're glad to know it wasn't.
Golly,
I'm not checking
literally
for another pod.
Yeah.
he wasn't answering our texts. Just
baseball
ghosted us.
season started. He wasn't around, and was
I
like,
know.
"This guy is not
having,
himself."
That was tough. I didn't get
PTSD
to
from, like,
watch
ghosting.
any baseball while I was there.
It hasn't been great, so it's fine.
I know.
It's fine.
Do you want to do a quick? We have a little bit of time. A quick, like, recap of the opening of Baseball for Reid.
Yeah. So basically, we lost a game, and then we lost a game, and then we lost a game, and then we lost a game.
Oh, no.
I'm speaking of the Astros here.
Yeah.
And then we won a game,
Right. No hitter.
and then we lost.
I was
a game.
there for
lost
that
the game.
one.
And
And
then
then we lost again.
Well, then we won.
And then we won
Last
again.
And then
night.
we won.
I did get to see. That was the
Okay.
first game I've gotten to watch.
Hey, it was a
last
good game.
night's game.
And
It
a
was
little
fun
piece
game.
of him was healed.
Yeah.
I was myself. I felt like me
I felt the
again.
dengue leave my body.
Jordan's second home run. I knew that mosquito was done for.
Just rising up into the sky.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Let us know if you've ever been overseas or if you've done a mission trip before. I'd be curious to know what you've done.
Or if you've tasted this tea that
Maté.
Reid has not at all. It just drops so much information without telling us
the
anything at all.
The main point was that I want to be able to carry around coffee supplies with me.
It's all about you, Reid.
Selfish.
All about you, Reid. Let us know if you've had Maté. Let us know. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on YouTube. We will see you next week.